The last quarter of 2022 was the best for safe investments instruments like T-bills and Singapore Savings Bond, which gave super high interest rate like 3.26% for SSB and up to 4.28% for T-bills. But the most recent SSB is only giving a mere 2.97 effective interest rate, which is considered really low, accounting for that the SSB has been outperforming bank interest for the last couple of months. So this brings us to the question, is SSB worth it? So for the newly inducted SSB or Singapore Savings Bond, which is an almost 0% risk investment that allows Singaporeans like you and me to invest in either cash or with CPF.
Risk? What risk?
Though there are some prerequisites to have before you can start investing your CPF. But the Singapore government offers SSB and the bond's tenure is roughly 10 years, of which you get paid every 6 months or biannually via a coupon rate. So one of the benefits with SSB is the amount to get started with is really low. So the bond is also liquid, and it goes without saying that the longer you hold your bond, the higher the interest you receive over the years. So if you look at this month's SSB, which is for February 2023, the bond interest rate starts at 2.84%, which means that for every $1,000 that you have invested into SSB, you receive $14.20 every 6 months. But on the 7th year onwards, you start receiving $15 every 6 months, and this peaks to the 10th year, which are getting a payout of $16.55. So this kind of means that SSB can be sort of a source of passive income, sort of. And this is one of the easiest ones to get started with because you only need a small amount of $500 to get started with SSB. However, the current SSB is considered really low. When we look back in December 2020, the rate that was offered was 3.47%, which is insanely high, and with the same $1,000 that you have invested, you'll be getting $32.60 in your first year or $16.30 every 6 months, which outperforms the current SSB. So if you look at other instruments that are available out there, you have heard about banks providing super high interest rates, like UOB giving almost 7%, and majority of the banks in Singapore have a base interest rate of roughly at least 2% across the board, which makes SSB looks really shitty.
Shitty, very shitty.
So if you look at the leading bank's interest rate, which is UOB One account, this gives a 7.8% interest, and you have to do the following. So you need expenditure of $500 or more on an eligible UOB card, crediting your salary of at least $1,600 or more via gyro into your UOB One account. So doing these two things gives you 3.85% on your first $30,000. The next $30,000 you deposit will give you a 0.05% in interest, which puts you at a 3.9% tier. And another $15,000 deposited after that will give you a 4.85%. And if you have enough money and another $25,000 to spare, that will put you at a 7.8%, which is kind of the maximum you can go to. So this can sound like a pretty good deal, but the effective interest rate you'll be getting is roughly 5%, which is still pretty decent compared to SSB. So UOB One is just one of the examples out there, and there are many other banks like TrustBank, which gives a 2.5% if you're an NTUC Union member and you complete 5 transactions a month. And I have covered this in a previous video on how I complete my transactions just by going about my daily life. On top of that, there are also some rebates with NTUC if you happen to shop there very often. So the other bank that I really like is CIMB, which gives a base rate of 1.5% for the first $25,000, and it scales to 3.5% if you deposit more than $75,000. So this has no frills, you just put your money there and let it grow. So to be honest, I personally think that this is one of the easiest ways to get started because you literally don't have to think about anything. All you have to do is just put your money in the bank. And while we are talking about all these high interest rate situation, we're gonna talk about T-bills as well. So T-bills have been paying roughly a 4% discount when you purchase them, and these are considered very short-term fixed deposit, if you will, because MAS will return your money to you after 6 months. But this comes at a higher initial investment of $1,000 instead of $500 like SSB. So right now we're kind of at a crossroads here because we've got SSB, we have cash in the bank, and T-bills. So all these three provide pretty good interest rates, but they all come with their own pros and cons, which can be very crucial for us because it's our hard-earned money that we're going to put at stake. And ideally, we want to grow this money into a larger pot. So there are a few ways to navigate these crossroads right now, and it would really depend on which stage of life you're at and your financial situation. So for example, if you already have bonds or stocks, or you just started out investing, or you just started out working, Putting your money into the banks will give you a better advantage because the money there is 100% liquid, which means that you can withdraw at any point in time. And if you already got bond and stocks, you might want to look into your portfolio before putting more money into bonds, because in the current market, holding cash might be something more logical to do because of the high interest environment which can let you grow your cash. So if you're one of those people with a lot of cash and no investments, you should try and max out each of the bank's account because this can give you a significant growth in interest. And then whatever you have left, you can consider putting it into T-bills for the short term because each T-bills is only 6 months, which is relatively short as compared to fixed deposits that might require a longer tenure of 12 months and onwards. But definitely there are shorter fixed deposits, but those require a larger sum of money. So for me, I'll be putting more cash into the bank for the foreseeable future to build up some cash flow, which I've been delaying because I was distracted with investing in bonds and T-bills for the last couple of months. But the great thing here is that my T-bills will be ending in the next 2 to 3 months, which means I can get to use that money again to reinvest into other instruments, or if the interest rate is good, I might just roll it back into T-bills again. At the end of the day, whichever way you pick to either preserve or grow your wealth, do understand the different benefits that each of these instruments provide. So the instruments should accommodate your lifestyle, not the other way around. So this brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I do hope this video has shed some light for you. And if you could do me a small little favor by just dropping a like, subscribe, and turning on the notification, it will help the channel out quite a bit. And as always, stay safe, invest safe, and I'll see you in the next one.